Hey everyone, I'm Tassinix, and welcome to Plotting and Scheming, the Grand Arena focused podcast centered around the top 100 of Kyber 1 for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I am joined by most of the regular cast. Dagger couldn't be with us today, but we do have TJ, Sasha Aisha, and Fatal. Gentlemen, no surprise to have a week full of Erodiums for me for week one. No fight to speak of for rounds 1 and 2. Round 3 got matched up with Sasha Aisha for our weekly duel. It was a nail biter. We both had 3 drops on ground, and I managed to come out with the win. So, very nice. Very nice way to end up this week. We'll see. We'll see. If I have a really strong season here, might actually be able to finish the season at 1 for the first time in a while. Erodium's excluded. So we'll see how that goes. More to talk about later on that. TJ, how about you? How was your week?
I also had a task the next week in that I had 2 Erodiums, which was awkward to say. I don't think I've ever had that ever. And then matched up with the other real guy who faced off against Plumbus. So I know he's one who hangs around all the streams and all that really good player. Ended up getting the win. So I get a 3-0 week as well. I seriously doubt I'm going to have your repeat of week 2 in that I'll have another Erodiums and blah, blah, blah. But we'll see if it's back to that. So
Dig that. Fair enough. Over to you, Sasha. So yeah, you had the same bum round 1 and 2 that I did, right? And then we had our duel.
I did. I was pretty detached from the game leading up until our third round, but the third round I thought was a ton of fun. Again, like it's just a reminder task. Like I think those kinds of matches where it's there's some mess being made. Like to me, it felt quite experimental, like just trying to figure some stuff out. I love it. So yeah, so I lost the match to you, but had a lot of fun with that. Look forward to diving into it a little bit. A lot of learning from me for me from my experience on the attack phase. Some of it may have been like pretty well known out in the community. I just had again not been as perhaps up to speed, but it was nonetheless I thought really cool. And I had a chance while I was in meetings most of the day. I didn't get a chance to watch much of yours live. I've had a chance to scroll through the video, and have questions for you. And kind of I just thought it was it was a fun match, man. I absolutely loved it. And very well deserved W on your part, man.
I appreciate
I thought that score I don't think it represented the actual gap competitively. I mean, I think you were in a much stronger spot. So yeah, really, really good play.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. And of course, last but never least, Fatal. So I was this week. I assume you're in a pocket where you're not facing Erodium, so you had real matches all the way through.
Yeah, I only had real matches. It ended up 0-3, although I technically was intending for 1-2. I just, you have a 100 banner lead, you allot 80 points, you get kind of lazy as you cross the finish line, you end up getting bit, shit happens, life happens. It'll be just as easy to put back. But no, I think I delivered pretty damn well this week. It's I don't remember if I exactly if I mentioned this last week, it actually would have been for me being negative on it because I really had my doubts. But I feel like I landed at least 2 potential new counters this week, possibly like knocking on 3 or 4. So I'm feeling real good. This season I set out. I knew Cassie and ISB were the 2 big question marks, and I wanted to make sure that I gave them their due. And frankly, I'm only just beginning to scratch the surface, it feels like.
Very fair. Yeah, can't wait to get into the details. Well, guys, let's go ahead. Plunge right into meta-analysis. I guess I wanted to talk about fighting Gungans first with the 400% defense to offense. A couple smooth ways, and then everything else can get a little chancy. So you've got Satil, which you can do it with a 4-man and be okay. Or you can bring, what is it? A Great Mothers, if, at the very least, your Great Mothers is faster than Boss Nats. If you don't have that, you can't even try it. But Sample size of 1, it worked for me today because I was, just enough faster to be able to take on that team. Otherwise, it would have been a really tough pinch for me on that today. How about you guys? Anything revolutionary on Guggins? Like JMK, I've seen people get hosed. BKM, I've seen people lose. What else? What else is out there? I mean, I feel like there's a lot of stuff people tried. I think Treya's lost for folks. Like, anything else I'm missing? Highlights and
BKM
lowlights?
BKM got dusted. I seen a whole bunch
Yeah.
of people just trying that, and that was like, you were dead. Turn 1, that was out.
Mm-hmm.
I'll throw out just a nuance to it, and that I did find in threes when the defensive squad was just Turples as the third with Nass and Jar Jar, that even though my great mothers would be slower than a boss Nass, I would still be okay because you put blessed on spirit. And while boss Nass's first move is a special that removes turn meter, if you're blessed, you're immune to turn meter reduction. So spirit would still go and be able to wipe the Turples. I tried that against yours, Task. That was one of the drops that I had. And I went in. Obviously, I had speed checked, and so I went in knowing that your Nash would go first and reduce turn meter from the rest of my Night Sisters. But when Spirit had her free shot against Sarples, she did not finish him off. Now, obviously, she didn't have foresight. That's the big difference. Foresight is when she has foresight, that's the condition under which she ignores defense. So she didn't have it. Wasn't able to one shot Tarples, and it went from bad to miserable in no time from there. But in a match, I guess in the old 3v3 season that I had with Nira, it had worked actually.
Okay, good to know. Appreciate that. New Republic, obviously everybody's gonna want to talk about that. I think that it's fitting into the theme that, like Rada, we all had some high hopes with Rada, maybe some more muted hopes with New Republic. But both of those ended up being kind of underwhelming on defense, right? Like we knew going into week 1, round 1, that Lord Vader should be pretty safe against it, against Rada in particular, and you didn't have a lot of reason to set Lord Vader, at least maybe at the very start of the week. So yeah, Rada quickly became disfavored. I know last week, Fatal, you asked towards the end of the episode, is anybody actually planning on holding Rada? I mean, certainly by the end of the week, I was, just based on what I'd seen and heard. And yeah, Lord Vader, I ended up putting back on defense. It's something.
I was saying last week, I was saying the opposite. I strongly felt that Rada on defense and Rada with that FTC was both a bad idea. I mean, if you use him solo on offense, and
Yeah,
you just
maybe
use
maybe I
that Kron
wasn't
with
clear
him, because
here, but no, I was acknowledging, like you were saying,
yeah,
like, is anybody taking him on offense? Sorry if I misspoke. Yeah, and
yeah.
certainly by round 3, that seemed like the obvious thing to do. Sorry, you were saying?
He's a pretty good specialist. I think the thing he wants to do is a pretty good thing to be doing.
Yeah, he was my
Let the boy
solution
cook.
to Pirate King. And quick shout out before I get back onto the original question. But quick shout out to Pirate King. Because yes, Rada does win regardless, but yeah, putting OG Hondo in there is horrible. God, did that get me good, Sasha? Hondo locked down Great Mothers, and that was all she wrote. Man, it was terrible. So really liked that. But yeah, so New Republic gets dusted by Treya, as far as I know. I did not fight it myself this week. Obviously, Sasha didn't set it.
Yeah, I'll jump in quickly on that task
Please.
because, again, like I said, I was a bunch of stuff going this week was a little bit detached, so I wasn't as on top of the, Treya is, pretty straightforward, kind of done and dusted counter for it. But you pull Treya out of your options, at least like in a pretty robust defensive board, like what you said. Because I put Treya on with EPDBB, thinking like I know I didn't have the EP cron the 100% turn meter, so that it was going to move quickly, but it's still it's a cis-based squad that had a puncher's chance on D, and I desperately wanted to set more fun D. So I left that there, didn't have Treya, and I was surprised, I mean, particularly with the board you said, like how few options I had that seemed like, realistic against an FTC New Republic. I brought Jabba because I know the instant defeat immunity on that squad's conditional. It is only while Zeb has taunt, and so I made sure when and bringing a Jabba squad that otherwise had no use. So I figured that's fun. Let's see if Jabba can maybe do something here. Spoiler: he couldn't. Jabba's third was able to keep buff immunity on Zeb, but even with that, it was fascinating. So I was able to eventually get to Jabba's first ult, eat Zeb because he didn't have the taunt up. But the very first time that I used, so that squad was able to clear buffs fairly often from Chrysanthemum. And so the first time that Bouch, like there felt like a number of deaths were on the table on your squad, on your New Republic squad, I have Bouch throw her grenade to detonate everything, and she is mass assisted complete death the very first time she does that. It was really impressive. I mean, it's a very counter-based team, right? It both stacks offensively, has a number of other advantages off the FTC based on counters. But man, it ate up that team really, really quickly. So that's why I ended up two-shotting. And so that Treya, while it seems simple and it feels like, oh, maybe that just marginalizes that squad on defense, and maybe the bottom line answer is it does. But if you take Treya out of the equation, it was not easy. It was no joke.
I appreciate it. Yeah. I didn't really hear about anything else but Treya getting used, so I imagine the options are probably few because dealing with on the run would pretty much otherwise suck if not for Treya and all that going on there. But what do the rest of you have to say, in particular about the new teams that are joining the board this week, like New Republic, Rada?
I know the one that got me a hold actually was the DTMG team with the Snowtrooper Kron. Be it the
Talk
Kron
about
or
it.
be it the. So I don't, obviously, we don't have the data to get used. I kept TFP and I kept OG Gideon. But I watched like Vexatron's fight and he took Malgus and I think he skated by with like a 58. I got one clean hold. My guy attacked overnight, so I don't know what I got to do, but that amount of damage and then the ability from the guys to just keep reviving. I know if you weren't ready for it or you weren't taking some of this perma kill, TFP seems to be the superstar there with that amount of damage that he was deleting characters. So be it.
Be it, and then your sentence cut off, buddy. Oh boy.
Yeah, phone call.
No,
So
no
it's
worries.
always good. But yeah, so basically that was the big one. The new teams, I actually took Leia and combined it with the R5 and Tiva. I decided to put that in the back and do like a combo super team just
Okay.
because the damages were a lot and two of them are rebels. I don't know what got used on it, but I believe I stole some banners from that as well.
Okay. Nice.
The
Yeah,
stats on that cron are so awesome that
All
I
of them
like
are.
that idea, TJ. Like just
All of
if you
these
can leverage a
datacrons
few
are
mechanics
crazy.
along with those stats, that's fun.
Yeah, I actually spent a lot of time looking at New Republic characters that were going to do it. Like Mom Mothma can do it. There's a thing for Tiva where it calls out tanks to assist. And we actually happen to have another tank who likes Imperials or Empire. So all of these things were like, oh man, I could put this to use and make it do some good work.
yeah. I think Malgus versus this new DTMG with the Stormtrooper Commando Kron, specifically with the FDC applied there. That can stall out Malgus. I've seen that. I don't know if you guys have any experience with that or what you recommend to get around it. I think that this is talking pretty high end relics because I know some folks not too much further down from us that used Malgus and said it was a slam dunk. So I'm assuming that if it's gonna stand up, it's gonna be if it's gonna stand up to Malgus, it's gonna be kind of tricked out. I don't know if you guys had any experience with that to share. Otherwise, from TJ's. Oh, okay. Uh, let's see. TJ, Sasha, any topics you want to bring up? Because I know Fatal had listed out a few ahead of the show that he wanted to cover. So what standout meta matchups from you guys this week? / best attack and defense.
Um,
Go ahead,
go ahead,
Sasha.
TJ.
Then
I'll follow you,
Oh
bud.
no, man. Yeah, I'm driving right now, so it makes it rough.
Okay. You know what I'll call out actually was what I saw you did to one of my front wall defenses tasks that I thought was just it was a very good use of these resistance crons with the turn meter. You get the boost,
Oh, yeah.
and suddenly, like here we are with Zorian relevance again. You know that BKM squad that I set up front. If you make a mistake on it, it's like I put a ton of defense on BKM, and it's a defense to offense cron that I set on D. So like she will one shot a GL if she gets out, right? You did such a nice job that it's the combination of the turn meter boost, having your resistance hero Finn be the weakest, so he can go first, and you run through it in the sequence just like you did. You want stun on special, so you're really sort of maximizing control. And I thought that was like a really sort of artful application of that, taking out a squad that like if I had held BKM, the reality is like I think BKM can kill a ton of different things.
Sure.
It'll bleed some, but that defense to offense with with her leadership giving all this defense, it's brutal. So I thought that was a very cool, like just a sort of a ping or a reminder that like if you can find something that's not particularly reactive, you can get a jump and keep that TM train running with resistance and that stun.
Okay. Very nice.
So that's a good note. I'll say I added one thing. I actually put the Nzelans on my BKM team with the 100% because it has call outs to the Mando. So I'll be interested to see what got used. But I also put that in the back just because I wasn't giving away that I was putting Leia with Tiva in them.
I can see it. Yeah.
By the way, Tass, you set BKM in front as well. What I ended up using was JML, which
Sure.
I tried to focus and keep them under control. I was able to get your BKM, but there's so much offense again that comes with that defense to offense cron that when Bam got like 6 birds off, it that was able to one shot my Hermit Yoda, I think, and take a few banners off of some others. So it was that's how I ended up with a 60 instead of a 65, bringing JML. I will say your JML experience against my Cobb Fant made me feel slightly better. So
Yeah,
if that was
that
a
was-
sympathy drop, thank you.
That was annoying.
But between me getting those birds and you getting all those bombs, it was a rough match for JML.
I mean, the losing Jedi Cal was whatever, but the whole getting like consistently just about killing Nebbit, and then Nebbit stabilized and went to full, and it's like, yeah, okay, this is gonna be great. So no, fair game. Other fights you wanted to point out while we got you here, Sasha?
Yeah, hang on. Let me bring up my notes again on the board
Sure.
here.
While you do that, I'll steal the mic just a second to mention fighting your Lord Vader. I considered Maz, but decided to use that against the DVD, and that worked just fine. I used C Bane to fight yours, but earlier today I used a client of mine's Maz and a reasonable cron to fight Lord Vader. Didn't go well. It was a max health. I think we went with something that had high damage, like double, like 100% damage for SM33, who we did tuck into the team. Could have gone with like a crown that had more protection, but I don't think that like people started dying after the second Lord Vader ultimate, so I don't know how much protection focus would have done for me there. Anyways, the Lord Vader U set was using the Snowtrooper Commander Cron, and that really dissuaded me from trying it. So
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, my intention there was
Mhm.
to hold enough burst in that Vader squad that like I figured it could even pressure. It would pressure Rada. It would pressure a few things. I've heard like that was one of the things that Rada maybe wasn't great at, or could be inconsistent with like an extremely high offense Vader. Yeah, a few things I'll share. So stuff that I was really curious about and wanted to try. I wanted to find a use for that Bad Batch 2 what the hell is his name? The dog. What's Batcher's Cron.
Yeah, Batcher. Yeah, I
Just
got to
the
talk about that
concept of
too.
being able to just stop TM game against non-GL squads, and with the way the board was set up, I knew this was unlikely, but I really wanted to try it. The Django squad. So you said, pretty typical, like the Django, Asajj Dark Disciple, Forlom, and then you had OG Mando and Zuckuss, right? And
Yep.
I figured, I think it was Forlom that was going to get locked, even though he's R10. But if I did Jedi Master Mace, and I'm like, I'm not going to be able to hang in there, they would just blow him up. But that's one of the reasons they do so well. You had like 180% crit damage on your cron, so I knew they would hit like trucks. But they get that 100% turn meter boost at the beginning. They have the TM engine of OG Mando. Well, what if they can't gain turn meter, right? So I decided to try Bad Batch 2. They just hit so goddamn hard. Like I think I was able to take out Zuckuss, and I think I had one shot at OG Mando, took him out as well. But I think it was OG Mando. I can't recall, but
I think it was. Yeah.
it was, yeah, it was. They just hit so hard that even without the TM gain that they have, like, because everybody, I think, other than Asajj Dark Disciple, gets 100%. That I kind of figured, oh, I can hang in there. Was not able to hang in there. So Bad Batch 2 melted really badly. But I was leaning too much on the can't gain turn meter concept. The next thing I'd say is let's see. The Leia experience. So Leia against Ahsoka. And I think you had something similar happen to me in that I used a turn meter gain. You had a turn meter 20% TM gain for weakest on your defensive Leia squad. I did too. We both used them on offense, or on our defensive Ahsoka squads. We both used them on offense with our Leia squads, and we're able to just outspeed the opponent with Jin. And so Jin moves first, and Jin moves. Or I can't remember what it was. Yeah, I think Jin went first and passes over to R2. There's some turn meter overflow or something, because in both your match and mine, despite it being a turn meter pass over to R2, the opposing Syndulla still gets to go and
Right.
gets her fracture out before R2
Yep.
moves. In my case, the fracture landed on Drogon. In your case, it landed on Adrad. Neither desirable. I wasn't thrilled to see it on Drogon. I ended up winning, and it took 4 minutes and 30 seconds. But that was an interesting one where I really thought I would be able to go to R2, have R2 stealth everyone but Jin, and ensure fracture was on Jin. It didn't play out that way.
Yeah. Who got the
I guess the
fracture?
last thing what's that?
Who got the fracture? The first one.
Drogon.
Yeah. Nice. But you
Yeah.
still made it
No,
through, so nice.
Yeah, I did. It wasn't pretty, and frankly, if they didn't have that like totally rational infatuation with just pounding a 1 HP Jin into the dust, I would have been done. But she was already dead. I kept telling them, but no, they kept kicking. So the other one that was I'll just call out the tactic that I was doing. Arc was in there deliberately, without another clone
Okay,
trooper. I know
yeah.
that means he doesn't have anybody to give, but it does increase the ult. I tested it in squad arena, so I assume there's no reason for that not to translate in GAC. And my arc, like, I took him to like R9, made him as thick as possible. So we would just stand there slightly longer, hopefully. And so I was curious in watching it. I didn't get to watch it in real time, but when I went back, it was a good amount of damage. I mean, she did. So Ray's full ult was about 2 million, but spread over 6 different characters, so it was like 330 something.
Sure.
But it's a hell of a lot, and like, if you didn't have a light side thick, I don't think you'd have come out of that with a full squad, just
I
out
agree.
of the first ult. So you did have light side thick, and you did come out just fine. But that was kind of fun to watch, and yes, that was the thinking behind it.
Oh, that's a good one. Let me think about this. Is there another team that you had mentioned that just reminded me? I might circle back around to it. TJ, better time for you. Got something for us? What do you have to talk about from the top of the meta?
I think mine, and hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Mine was the cheat. So I know, and I think it's the common suit right now of you only have so many Satil. I mean, you watch your fight with Sasha and everything. It's the common thing of I can only bang so many things. I can only Satil. I wasn't playing with the Soka and doing the rep, and that's why I put Leia on the back. But I got to cheat, and I think that cost my opponent the win. I SLKR'd the Ahsoka, so that turn meter's gone, and it plays like a normal fight for a clean 65. Could have been a 66, where my opponent also set Leia, but he dropped a total of 3 times. It took him a 3 shot to kill my Ahsoka. So doing one with the other, that still feels like one of the strongest teams. So if you're going to try to trick out by I'm going to use Leia here, I would not want to try the C Bane because of the potential for something to happen or anything else against this 20%, especially with high damage or high defense and health and any type of crit damage. Seems super scary.
Fair. Got any others you wanted to highlight?
Other than that, and what I think I noticed when your patron, we talked about it, but these super teams definitely feel like the thing we're going to be seeing this season as the true stumpers, like air quote stumpers that are really going to call you out. I basically almost lost BCAM. I fought BCAM and I decided to take JMK and I barely squeaked by with the 62. Yeah. Losing somebody, but I also watched your fight and what I call this, I'll call it a Saw super team, and that ate JMK. And looking at the comp with the 20%, I don't know what else you would take there. So what I like to see is that this season of, and also I'm hearing that Ray with Ahsoka, and I was telling Sasha about this, Ray with Cat right now on the amplified damage, actually hearing from all over, even Kyber 1, people just getting dumpstered. So whatever you want to call it, just getting wrecked, even with Queen against these super teams right now. So it just feels like we're in a key prime era of one, can you create the right question? And these super comps are just creating all sorts of problems, which it makes me feel good to see that defense has merit right now of a 2 and a 3 drop, and you're still going to have an honest fight.
Yeah, completely fair. And I did just remember the thing that escaped me earlier. Sasha, you already mentioned that the Batracron is shutting off turn meter gains to non-GL teams. And that, going into this match, seeing that I had at least, a couple drops to play with if everything went well, I tried to do the sortie team that I've heard about against your stranger. I am sad to report that your turn meter setup on gas works correctly. He came out first, increased cooldowns on sortie, and in short, that was that. So withdrew on that entirely, went back in with Bad Batch, with Batcher. A few short minutes later, clean fight. I want to say -2 banners, something like that. Like you absolutely crushed through the first life of Wrecker. Fugitive took some damage. And we were stalled out a little bit hitting, Spider Mall, but it wasn't too bad. In the end, we ended up getting through it, and I can't say how much I enjoyed using Fugitive Omega there because that's a super important fight. Like I knew you were trying to stress me. I knew you were trying to stress me on Satil up front, and so I knew I had to keep it for the back. I felt it, and that was clutch for me. I would have been in a real bind if I had to use Satil there.
Yeah, that was a great application of Bad Batch 2 and the Record Cron. I was still hopeful, just with SK's GAC armies and 70 extra speed on that squad, that they wouldn't fall as behind to be able to do enough damage beyond even Wrecker that you wouldn't progress to the point where you'd tear him up. But man, you got SK out within the first 40 seconds. That was solid.
Yeah, once we were able to actually mark him and go after him, it was pretty quick. Fortunately, very fortunately. TJ already stole a little bit of the thunder. Yeah, the biggest fight for me was fighting Saw. Your Saw Luthen. What was that? I want to say you had Krex in there with.
That was not. That wasn't Sasha. That's the thing.
Oh,
That was
that's
the
the other
patron.
fight. Yeah. Gosh.
That's the
Yeah, I
same thing.
didn't. Yeah.
Your Great Mothers that you lost with, the Great Mothers that was utilized was also the patron. And that was the Honda with the super unfortunate setup.
Yeah, I know I won the Great Mothers myself. Yeah.
But the bad luck part. So I'm saying that those combo packs that I've seen, and I think it's speaking to the season that we're experiencing right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, yeah, if I remember, it'll come back to me. Fatal, you in a position to talk now? I know you said you needed a couple minutes.
I just parked it.
By the way, I've got data up, FYI, guys.
No, if you still need a couple minutes, that's fine. We can still circle back around to you.
Data
TJ?
is up
What
for
do you
me,
got?
Tess, and I'm one of the last people to get my data up. So your data might actually be up to actually take a look at.
Nice. Yeah, we'll have a look here. We'll comb over my attacks again real quick. So yeah, the Maz worked against DVD. Yeah, this sort of thing wiped out. Managed to have a 41 there. There it is. -4. My bad. Leia, yeah, Rada for Pirate King. The Underman Great Mothers for Nas. That was important. It was both advantageous for banners and, tactically important for the fight to not have one of the usual suspects here in 5th. No Night Trooper allowed, no Marin allowed, stuff like that. All right, this JMK here, that's where I went wrong. I knew the JMK lost. This was the one to pay attention to. So, Slacker, Dre, Crew, Hux, and Faust. So double tank, and I don't know. I don't know if the double tank was really that big a deal, because I was not really trying to dance around the tanks. I was just trying to bide my time until I got to ultimate. The Crew, level 9, definitely provided value all the way to the end of the fight, just ramping the offense on Slacker. This Kron that you see here was kind of middling. I'm going to try and have something better next week available. Much higher defense and health, and probably light side buffs up level 3 instead of turn meter. But this was the Kron I had. I could have taken something with high defense but no health, like maybe 150 instead of 101% defense. But yeah, that was a bummer. But I think a better Kron would have still made that work. Although I really have to say, on defense, that Crew level 9 was tough. Getting it down to just Slacker and Crew, I cleaned it up with Java. No issues. Yeah, we already talked about this. JML fail on Cobb. That was tough, man. Seabane, yep. Satil, yep. Yeah, Treya to clean up the Cobb. And yes, everything just worked out smoothly on Fleet. That's it for me. Let me pull you up, TJ. Anything you want to highlight in particular here? Oh, well,
I'm looking at
what?
it.
It's
I
empty.
wanna know-
You're empty right now.
Okay, so I saw the thing there. I was hoping
Yeah,
it was
your
like maybe it
score's
was
there,
the
but
problem.
it's empty.
I'll look as we're going through because I want to know what took the 3 on the Ahsoka, and then also what got the hold with the Snowcom. Snowcom
doubt.
didn't have any particular modding setup.
No doubt. Okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, Fatal had an interesting week. He fought Arnold early on. Nice. Very, very nice. Wow, and lost to that's Shake right there. That's Shake. That's interesting.
I'm more interested in his last one. I can't wait for him to get back to talk about
Let's
it
see what we got
because
here.
anybody who missed his stream, I hazard to say you missed a really eventful thing.
Yeah. Really good time. All right, now over to Fatal. You had a list here of items you wanted to cover. So first, ISB versus PKH, and let me pull this one up. You included some footage here. All right. We'll take the volume down and watch the fight. You guys can see in Discord?
Yes, we're good. Yeah.
So the long and short of it is, I think I made a offhand mention either on my Discord or on here last week of just like, I thought that this was plausible at first, and then talked myself out of it when I reread the Silvio's kit.
But the theme this week was very much just like, why wait? Why bother? Just play the video game. Just go try some shit. They won in match 1. I tried this first time.
Nice.
That shit just won. In match 1, it was just like a pure damage cron. It was like a Snowcom cron. They didn't have Brutus at the time, so it was like SM33 and I think Quiggled. And I guess they just want Snowcom trying to push damage that way. This fight is the follow-up, and this is the flip side. This is like a 300% defense Datacron. And so, yeah, I was working on ISB versus Ray. Probably not going to try against Ray 9, although we'll talk about that for other teams shortly. But yeah, the reason why I chose this one rather than the win is because it kind of shows you where the problems are and where the problems are not. At this point in time, my ISB wasn't really tailor-made, purpose-built for this fight. But we can see pretty quickly, we're freely ignoring the taunt, right? We have free access on whoever we want on the sides. The kills are coming in pretty quick. We see Pirate King Hondo has the ult ready to go, so we know that's going to be coming in. The 30% defense wasn't really felt until I got to Pirate King Hondo, and this is where I think optimizing the team is really going to come in. And specifically, I wanted to point to Krennic as someone who I think I started to mess with it a little bit here. I started A/B testing as I was working on Pirate King Hondo here, swapping between KX, for those who don't know, his percent health damage doesn't work on GLs or anyone percent health resistant. It's that type of it's based on his health, not their health, but it still gets reduced. But I was testing his damage and I was testing that against Krennic. KX is built for damage. Krennic was not at all. Krennic was just like speed and health. And Krennic was doing the same damage. And Krennic was relic 8. And KX was not. So yeah, this counter went 1-1 this week. I did Grex, a variety of Galaxy of Heroes Discord fame, tried it out as well. His team was like R7s, and his is like, it was tighter, it was closer. You have to be more scared of their damage. He lost due to an infinite variety bug. That's its own thing, but he was clearly in a position to win. All in all, I think this is very promising. For week 2, 100% intend to continue to pursue this, and yeah, just need to work on the damage output side of things. I think largely coming from Krennic and the Death Trooper. For those who don't know, it's the same stat profile as Oppo and Nightfall Trooper. And Krennic is actually really starting to surprise me with some of the damage numbers he's putting out. That I won one match this week the first try, and then I fell to the defense not being really built to be able to beat it. And to be clear, the Datacron that I chose as well was also equal 300% defense, which KX converts that a little bit into damage. But if we're coming at this from a problem solving angle, I could be jacking my damage as well if need be. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool example. You could see why the counter would work, and you can see where, they jacked up their survivability, so that's a problem to solve for next week. I feel like that's a pretty good stinger teaser of what I'll be working on the next 7 days.
Sure. Yeah, looking forward to seeing more of it. What cron? You were running what looked to be a dark side buffs up level 3. What was your stats setup on that cron that you were using there?
Mine was about 300% defense.
Okay.
Your risk factors are, A, you need nobody to die. I mean, I guess technically, so when you lose somebody, your team deranks. And so, if they happen to target an IPD or whatever, IPD will revive, or the summon can revive, but you'll still kind of lose that Partagas rank. It's not as bad as it sounds, as long as you've got the Partagas Omicron, because he gets 15% turn meter per ally taking damage. You get the interrupt with the heal and the cooldown increase. So you do have options. My Krennic this week only had 42% armor. Right? He is just absurdly squishy. And he has critical immunity. So but his summon doesn't, and the summon inherits his armor and his health. So
Yeah.
there's a balancing act to be walked here for sure. Your chief concern is don't die, and then kind of as illustrated here, if your opponent is also in the I do not wish to die territory, then you do have to make sure that you can hack apart the percent health resistant people at the end there. I mean, the Pirate King Hondo ult hit around the 60-second mark, and we actually made surprisingly short work of that vein for a 10 Relic 10 enemy Pirate King Hondo team.
Sure.
I would say, it was actually pretty decent pacing. I don't know if it's better to do Pirate King Hondo or Vayne first. It seemed to maybe go faster if it was Vayne, but I'm not sure.
I will say, at last, Krennic will get his due. Krennic's time to shine is upon us.
I don't want to overpromise. I am seeing a lot of small indicators that I think Krennic might be the second strongest character on that team.
The Church of Krennic, you heard it here first. All right, the next fight you wanted to highlight here that you gave us footage for was Saw versus Rey. Let's pull that up.
Yeah, in hindsight, this is maybe not even that crazy. And from what I understand, I think some other people had tried it before. So the thing that I want to highlight here is A, how stupidly overqualified this is, and B, this is a soapbox moment, both for myself, because I knew this and I kind of shelved it and hadn't come back to it, and I feel like this is a good demonstration of that. This video is about Chirrut. For those of you who don't know or don't remember, so Saw Lead says every time that you heal, or anytime that any one person heals, the whole team gets 1% offense and health. And for those of you who know Chirrut, Chirrut says, hey, anybody who's got health over time, every turn, including enemy turns, your squad heals 4%. And Sagara's whole entire archetyping is, he makes you lose that 10% health at the match start and gives everyone heal over time. So you just have that buffer immediately. So Chirrut Imwe for this team is based, how everyone is obsessed this season with Rey Cat super team, 50% health, defense, offense, crit damage. Chirrut is Cat, but he gives you 100% health and offense. And he gets you there real quick. Right?
Oh, you cut out on that right. All right, it sounds like you're coming back to us.
Am I good? Hello?
Yep, you're back. You're good.
Yeah. All right. No, it's if we could even count it from the start of the fight if you wanted, just 3x speed or whatever. Just you start the fight and it's so violent how fast Chirrut wraps you to your max potential.
Oh.
And doing the math now of just okay, Luthen gives you 90% crit damage, Saw Lead plus Chirrut gives you 100% offense. This move gives you 50% offense plus 30% offense plus crit damage up, and then Captain Rex gives you offense up as well. We are dealing before Datacron with a team that just makes comical amounts of, and I've been doing Saw Duke for a while now, but the running theme of this week is how the heck do we split the Rebel fighters between Cassian and Saw, and especially if I assume Saw Luthen is going to be the preferable split for reasons that we're seeing here. But now I'm starting to almost wonder, just what if it's possible to just build a better Saw, where if you just understand him well enough, maybe you could just live beyond the Luthen, because Chirrut and Captain Rex both, I think, can be made to just sling absurd heat if you build them correctly. So the Rey fight was I lost the character because Vel. I was trying a weird split with Drogon and Kyle under Cassian, and so I tried putting Vel in Saw. I actually think Vel under Saw actually sounds possibly interesting.
Yeah,
but,
I was going to ask you why her is your fifth, please.
Well, I mean, if you look at the Rebel Fighter tab, right now to me, there's a clear top 10. And it's just a matter of what medley are you putting where. I mean, right now I don't really feel bad about stealing Drogon from Leia, because Leia stocks are markedly pretty down. in terms of at least from Rada, or at least like if you're trying to block Rada with Leia, I don't think Drogon needs to be in that picture. So you've got Saw, Cassian, Clea, Velcinta, Luthen, Kyle, Drogon, Captain Rex, and then the roster quality just like falls off a cliff. And to answer why not Vel for Cassian, another counter I was messing around with this week was Cassian versus the Stranger, which is I had been eyeballing because, you know, Stranger hangs a lot of his hat on instant defeating. Cassian has instant immunity. That seemed like, you know, possibly a place worth exploring. The problem was, the first time that I tried it, quickly came to realize I did, you know, Acolyte has the rule of if you damage an enemy 2 turns in a row, they take a bonus turn. I was not aware that applied to counterattacks. And so very quickly, I went in thinking, oh, you know, I take a turn, you take a turn, I'm safe. But very quickly, it's like, nope, Vel counterattacks pretty much every single time. And so Maul basically just looped on her until she was dead. And I was like, okay, well, this fight's kind of screwed. It was not screwed. It was actually, like, markedly, shockingly fine. And that's with me, like, I misplayed in, like, multiple ways. I kept casting VIP on, like, Clea, who already had it, which is just, like, the worst possible, lowest value move you could possibly make with that. What, you know, path A wins the video game, path B, what are you doing? Like, that was bad. It was just... I was so expecting not to be in the fight that the fact that I didn't lose in the next 5 minutes was, like, shocking to me, but also, like, no, okay, I do feel like I'm correct here, that this has potential, but Vel, I mean, we're talking either, like, make Cassian weakest and give Vel damage immunity so she can't counterattack on the match start, or she has to go. And I actually think she sounds a little bit sleeper for Saul. Because A, like, she's got that AoE entrench move, and she's a support. And Saul gives supports cooldown reduction, plus all the turn meter. Plus, it's like, you know, it's an AoE blind. And that entrench move gives you, like, 25% damage boost per person that has it. So, like, yeah, like, it's entirely possible that she could just, like, turn somebody into a nuke. That I think she has a home there. It was more so just, like, against Rey, I don't know, like, honestly, if I went into that fight again, I think I actually probably could get away with using Vel. It was more so just, I mean, the thing that got Vel killed realistically is I did not control Ben Solo. He got the 4-turn healing immunity. That tends to kill you. But I mean, we did win. It was -3 banners for my screw up, but right. She had a hard time. But yeah, no, really the running theme for me for this season is I really, really do think that the Rebel Fighter faction is, like, very, very strong right now. It's really just, you know, I think that Saga, a team that I ran, was, like, insane overkill, right? Like, my summon, you know, my summon did his 1 million damage burst move, and Chirrut assisted so hard on GK, putting him to 1% health in DI, that I wasted 1 million damage, right? That's just, like, a comical sentence. That trying to hone in on who gets what, where, when, why is going to be very much the story of the season. But I think the power is very real. The power is very there, and so, like, kind of looking to see if Kyle Katarn can come to his own, for example. Like, I had him one-shot 2 people from a Stranger team at the start of the match before they got to play. Like, that was a pretty good thing to be doing. Like, that's yeah, you know. And yeah, past that point, it's just going to be a matter of taking risks and seeing what sticks. So that's it for the Rebel Fighters.
Oh, appreciate that. Yeah, you already covered Cassian versus Stranger. You said Rey issue, though. Anything else you wanted to cover there that you didn't?
As promising as that stuff seems, a lot of people are favoring Stick Rey there, and Stick Rey beats your fucking face, as it turns out. So I don't know if I'll be able to chase that this season. Again, it's like if I remod Cassie to be weakest and I give Vel damage immunity, maybe that's a playable spot. I don't know if that's. I don't know. We'll see. I don't really have time to stew on it, but I'll make a snap judgment for tomorrow on If I want to pursue it or not, probably not. We'll see. Stick Ray is just oppressively strong if you're trying to be honest, and Cassian is more honest than Saw is.
Very fair. Yeah. Yeah, Saw is just nasty this season, man. I seen it with a high crit damage new set cron. I forget if it was turn meter 3 or if it was light side buffs up, but it was
turn meter 3.
It was? Okay. Well, then
Yeah.
that part was deadened by JMK being used against it, but JMK lost. JMK got hammered. It was insane. Would not recommend.
Yeah, it was like a super team though, because having the Krex there to tie it in and to keep your team locked down, the team you'd watch just fall apart piece by piece.
Fair. All right, last one here from Fatal was Queen versus Ray. So what do you got on this? And I'd love to hear what you think about the different riffs on the comps that you've heard or seen with Ray this season. Because obviously, on defense, you'd be trying to target jamming up Queen, right? But what do you have to say about this matchup?
So this I did not play personally. I try to hang out in GSC voice chat at my server. A lot of people hang out there. It's a cool thing. I haven't been able to watch it too much this week.
A good place.
Yeah, it's a real cool place. Real cool thing they set up. I did manage to catch a fight though, and this is a cautionary tale, but also just kind of a reminder. It's like, oh, why would I even forget about this? So someone was playing, and they were fighting a Ray 9, as you do, and their Padawan Obi-Wan and their Ki-Adi-Mundi died to first Ray ult. No kills at the time. There was a GK who was at like 100% health. It was like a Calbearus, I think, as well. He lost Padawan Obi-Wan. He lost his Ki-Adi-Mundi. Proceeded to doom and despair for about 90 seconds. At one point, I will say, I noticed what was happening and said, I have told this story in this podcast before. I have been here before, but you would think, and even I said, like, well, it's a Ray 9. Yeah, you're probably not going to win this. A listener, they beat her ass. The GK died in like one QA basic calling Master Qui-Gon. If I haven't said it enough for the millionth fucking time now, Master Qui-Gon is an absolutely insane unit. Sometime in my life, I need to try the Queen Amidala Master Qui-Gon 2v5 attempt. Probably not when Ray 9 is live, but like, yeah, it was just a Queen, a Master Qui-Gon, and a Keller and Beck calling Master Qui-Gon to assist. And if he had just played that match out, the Queen and the Qui-Gon would have easily beaten the level 9 Ray. Like, it was not close. It was comfortable. It was silly how unconcerned that team looked with Ray 9. And to some degree, like, it's two things. A, it's a reminder, oh right, Queen Amidala is incredibly stupid. Like, I would be, Queen Amidala undersizing Ray 9, I think, is absolutely on the table. I had kind of talked about it before the season started on my server, that, like, friendly reminder, Queen Amidala has a clause that says, when an enemy critically hits, I think, someone GR on your team, they lose 5% crit damage in offense. And so, let's say you feed Ray an immediate Whirlwind, and she gets at least one Whirlwind off before her ult. That's minus 25% offense towards that ult. Let's say you're rolling Master Qui-Gon dice and stacking up Queen's protection and all this and that, and maybe you draft GMY for protection up and maybe you don't. You are so beyond fine. It is actually kind of disgusting how fine you are on that matchup that, obviously he got clipped in that scenario. I don't know if his Padawan Obi-Wan had offense primaries or not, but like, as if I could have forgotten. My Queen was on defense this week, and it was a nice reminder of like, well, she's getting one shot on defense. Maybe she has a higher calling. I don't know. But yeah, it's both. Damn, Queen is really good, especially at undersizing. It's just like stupidly good. And also, really just kind of between that Saw fight and that QA fight, it really sank in for me of like, Ray 9 is just a paper tiger. And it's kind of sad the degree to which, yeah, man, it feels like if you bring a team that has any amount of aggression, like the moment that you get that first kill, it's done. Like it's not even necessarily like touch and go at that point. It's just like for the majority of teams that you're fighting her with, she's just below the mark. You're going to heal up easily. Like it's done. And so it like I don't really know what I feel about Ray 9 at this point. Like I'm probably going to still try to use it, but at this point it's like you almost just have to try to treat it like a Cassian team where it's like you're just on like a turtle shell play style, just like I've got to try stopping you from killing anybody. And if I can do that, then it'll probably be fine and we have some good effects. And if not, then things can crumble real quick. Because I mean, I even fought Ray 9 with JML this week. And like I didn't even get any kills before her first ult, but because of JCal like offense reduction and all that still lived through. It's like I didn't bring Luminar for a production reach or anything that was like -5 banners, but it was still just like shocking the degree to which Ray 9 I don't think we saw it since the first Datacron set, right? In my mind, it's like, man, you gotta be afraid of that. And now I'm just like, can we make it not conditional on people living? Can she just have like 400% damage always? Because
Yeah, after you start taking people out, it really just falls off. And yeah,
yeah,
I completely agree.
it's kind of a shame.
Yeah, I know that I didn't get jammed up on it. I think the people that were smart enough to take enough health along with them weren't going to get jammed up on it. But I will say there were a lot of people in my chat today during my stream that said that Ray with Cat, Ray with Arc to have that summon there and amplifying the 9 all that much more. They were getting a lot of holds. So, maybe it's just the all too common case of people still not having enough survivability on their POW, stuff like that. I don't know. Well, thank you.
That light
Faber.
side thick, we talked a little bit about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just to echo what Fatal was saying. Like once one piece, comes out of that squad, it's like a house of cards for Ray. But that light side thick, that light side bulk level 3 is so big in fives, that 75% prod and health, that like, and just a quick cut of the only partial data we've got in from .tg for the week. And like if in Kyber 1 with the Ray 9 and a light side bulk, QA, let me put like in battles that are all like relegate minimum on both sides, it was 89.04% success rate. Like, I mean, QA, just again, diffusing it over, a sixth character. Yeah, it's a bummer it just doesn't go a little bit further, or that there wasn't some other, I don't know, like resistance tech 6, something there to give some additional scaling or something. But yeah, it doesn't quite get there with QA.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's
We're here. So
yeah, go ahead, TJ. I was just about to roll over to you.
I know, man.
You mentioned
I'm
that your
going right
data
to my
got updated.
favorite.
So what do you got?
Yep. Go to my defense, dude. This shocked the shit out of me. Go to my defense. So I think you're on offense right now, but go down and go look. Oh no, you're on the right one. Go down. D Team G. Go look at what held to, and I'm like, I get the Malgus, whatever.
JML. Okay, yeah, I could see.
But look at the Kron.
The revives.
The Kron was like 60%. You just It's just like that's
also
proper.
No. It looks like you just got old fashioned, like blown out. That's what that looks like to me.
Mm-hmm.
2 minutes.
But now you would think. But look, that's a retreat, and then I would say Balin, right? Because we talked about the anti-revive or whatever else. Look at how fast that's gone.
Yep.
So you want to talk about favorite setup? I get the Kron is strong, but seeing D Team G doing work like this and taking out JML, which would have been the old go-to, is just awesome. So
very interesting that it is TFP in there. So
it's cool. I'm telling you, and if you go talk to people who are doing it, a really well-built TFP, if you even go watch Vex's fight, TFP is just the leading people with the amount of times because he's getting the assist and the call out. And my TFP was built with good damage on his own. I think he's like 10K on his own. And then you tie in that level of damage that's on the Datacron. TFP was a hands down is like the rock star of the fight.
Makes sense.
Yeah, favorite by far to see, man. A 4-hold on DTNG
Yeah.
of all things. Just awesome.
Nice to see that, C. Bane timed out
That's
here
what I
on
didn't want to
Ahsoka
get
for
held
you.
out
That's
by.
pretty cool.
That's why I did. That's why I told you, if you go look, I took SLKR on this because I was not going
Yeah.
to take that swarm.
Wasn't going to be me, the man said.
Nope. And then this one, I actually got up early in the morning and decided to go. I linked the wrong person. So C. Bane would have been fine there, but I linked. They all look the same. All these white people look the same, so I can't help it. But yeah, I linked STL by mistake, and as soon as I did it, I was like, "Oh man, that's not gonna go well." And guess what? It didn't.
He's the shorter one.
There you go.
They all look the same height too. You knock it off, you shortest.
Now,
But yeah, that was my key.
No, I appreciate it. Before we move on here, though, any other matchups that we hadn't otherwise covered? Anything that's springing to mind last minute? Going once, going twice, sold. Back on over to takeaways and final thoughts. All right, so obviously for my part here, week 2 likely to only have one matchup. Maybe Mad Mage Nira's ascending, and one of us will have 2 fights in the week, something like that. I don't know. For my part, definitely wanted to make sure I had another 1 or 2. I noticed that all my light side of the new set are turn meter, so I probably need to pick up a couple light side that are just high defense, some health on it, and the light side buffs level 3. That's something I need to make sure I have in my back pocket as a couple other options. And also, I will be probably striking the worst couple teams off my defense. I'm thinking probably about 2 teams I'm going to rotate for sure. Something like that. Other than that, looking forward to our appointment next week, Sasha. That's it for me. Over to you, TJ.
Sorry.
Your takeaways and final thoughts. What do you have, on your mind heading into week 2?
I like the questions that got posed. Seeing everybody, I thought it wasn't going to be that much. These super datacrons right now feel like they're giving a lot of posing points. Brada is my higher calling, and honestly, can he kill LV? He's not on defense. That's gone. It's busted, broken. We know that. I seen what you do with Pirate King, but honestly, his highest calling, if you can do it, is LV. What I'm hearing though, and I think what Sasha talked about, what you can't do is do Rada against the Snowtrooper Crom when it's on the LV. But if you're doing the 10%, I believe Rada has his highest calling to kill LV, which opens the door on the other ones, because the era of you only have so many Bane, so many so many Satil, etc., is afoot, and that's going to get a lot of holds as we see that ripen come this week.
All right, man. I appreciate that. Over to you, Sasha Aisha. Your takeaways, your final thoughts. What do you got? Hopefully you can catch up on some of your favorite content creators, because I know you're saying you were coming in a little light on experience, and that was definitely an advantage I felt I had, because I had many folks I was able to play with and at least watch. So yeah, what's on your mind here heading into week 2?
Just like prevailing sentiment right now, I feel like enthusiastic. I've been such a kind of I just, from real life stuff and other things, been sort of pulled away from the game for a bit, and so reintroducing it felt like a little bit like labor to have to get in and do it and think, oh, I'm gonna have to get through it. This conversation, or the match that we had, the conversation we're having right now, fatal covering the potential ISP being one thing. Krennic is a character I was always fascinated by, because his damage numbers were always unusually outlierly high, and so it's so cool to see that getting effect. I don't know that I'm going to try and harness that. I probably won't. That's probably just outside of my agenda for the week. But looking at the Rebel fighters, I did nothing with them in our match. I think it'll be fun to find something to do, whether an offensive application or otherwise. I'm excited for that. Another thing that I'm curious about, like TJ said, there's a lot of interesting super team combo possibilities that are out there. And then I look at, like, I got nothing out of New Republic, and in some ways, New Republic was kind of the determining matchup of our match, because me failing to keep Treya screwed me over there. But I just wonder if that's an FTC that is better purposed elsewhere for stats. That's kind of a top of mind thought. And then I don't know, like, Rada likes the Radacron, and I understand the combination of potency and other stats on there is particularly appealing for him. I don't know that he needs it. And if he doesn't need it, the other thought that I'm running through my head right now, and I'll take a look into, is like, I don't think so. But is there a path to Jabba viability using it? Because as I recall, a lot of those FDC mechanics, now they're not super appealing characters, but like Mob Enforcer, it's just if there's a Hut Cartel lead, it's not Rada specific. And is there anything that we can mine there to say, like, hey, Jabba's got some really appealing stats on this cron. Jabba has some new mechanic introduced to an FTC. Is there
Let
some
me cut in
opportunity
on
there?
you on that. Didn't I see you
Yeah.
have something set like that yourself, Fatal, at some point this week? Your Java team with the Rodacron and some of the cast members?
No, I fought one.
That's what it was. Okay. Did you see anything?
And
Did
it
you find
disappointed,
anything
I take it.
interesting about it, or did it just, go down easy to Cobb, or what?
I think all that stuff does not exist.
It's hooey. All right,
Fake
fair
until
enough.
proven otherwise, and so far the proof has not been proven.
Fair enough. All right.
It's
Appreciate letting us
it's such a
hijack
bummer
you
to
there.
have Jabba sitting on the sidelines. He just occupies so much of the bench. But
True. Yeah, what else you got?
yeah, so yeah, overall just pretty enthusiastic. I feel like, again, I've got toys to go back into the box and play with here. So just looking forward to it. Hopefully, we've got 3 people in our pod next week. But and one way or another, I think it'll be exciting to get another matchup test. So looking forward to it.
Likewise. Appreciate you. And last but never least, on over to you, Fatal. Your takeaways and final thoughts heading into week 2. And of course, where can the people catch you this week?
Yeah, I need to. I am absolutely I got a new job in the past month, and that's been
Congrats,
awesome,
man.
but also absolutely destroying me with deadlines. And I'm hoping that I'm free by the 21st, but I will have to try to do like some minimum due diligence for lock. But I literally haven't done anything but work for the last week, so I'm pretty much blind to everything going on the meta right now. But I will do my best to, at the very minimum, at absolute least, I gotta get everything spiced up for all the projects I've been working on. I don't whether or not I'm gonna go through hot utils and make General Syndulla and every other important character weakest. I don't know about all that, but yeah.
It took a little
ISB.
finagling and Relic 10 on both Hu Yang and Padawan Sabine, but the work was done.
I R10 my entire ISB instead. That's
Sure.
I wasn't gonna do it. I screwed up. I was only Partagas or no Krennic. Gave it away. Krennic was gonna be my only other R10 for that squad, and I was opening up Krennic, and then I went over the Scavenger to like scavenge some stuff. And I went back to Krennic. I went back to Scavenger. Went back to Krennic. Went back to Scavenger. And then once I had everything ready to go, for whatever stupid reason, I clicked Partagas and clicked upgrade without thinking about it.
Just looking through your monitor at the TV and at the other end of the rooms type of thing.
Yeah, I was looking at something else, and also what Sasha said is true. Like, they're wearing all white, they're balding and shit. Just what can you do?
Sure, it's the same guy, yeah.
Yes. And so I was like, well, I still do need the R10 credit because that's just probably a good thing to be doing. And then I had 3 R10s, and I was like, well, now people are going to think that I thought that Partagas was a good idea, which is not. So then I dropped 2 more R10s to hide the evidence. So now I have a full R10 ISB for no goddamn reason. Yippee wahoo enthusiast theory. Look, if I'm right, then I'm going to look really, really smart because it'll.
That's right. It's
Relic
genius
11 will
if
be
it
announced
works.
in. Yeah, Relic 11 will be announced in 3 months. And then I could be like, see, I told you all, you got to pick your mains. You got to stick to one team or stick to your favorite teams. And I'll look like a visionary. And definitely not someone who just wasted 60 relic materials each. Anyway, twitch.tv/playbook.tv, youtube.com/theplaybook. I intend to keep the cool shit coming.
All right. Looking forward to seeing that. And of course, thank you, gentlemen, for making the time to be here for our show tonight. Thank you, everybody at home, driving, doing, lawn work, whatever it is you're doing while you're listening to the show. Appreciate you listening. If you want to catch me live this week, if I have guest matches, when I get to my match with Sasha and or maybe, somebody else in our bracket, we'll find out. It'll all be on twitch.tv/Tassinix, simulcasting from my YouTube channel, Tassinix Gaming. If you've not been there before, definitely recommend you to check it out. A whole bunch of Slugger-related content I think you'd be interested in. Anything you do enjoy over there, please do hit like, hit subscribe, follow on Twitch. All great ways to support the channel, absolutely free. Really appreciate that. And if you love what I'm doing over here, what we're doing over here, you want to support the channel, by all means, there are a few ways to do so. I do have a Cash App, that is $Tassinix. I do have a PayPal, which is tassinix@gmail.com. And if you're interested in getting enhanced Grand Arena scouting power for yourself, early access to my content, including the Plotting and Scheming Show, and a few other benefits besides, you may be interested in becoming a patron. Check out patreon.com/Tassinix. For any upwardly mobile Grand Arena player, there is something there of interest for you. Recently, I've had a few GAC/mod coaching clients really enjoy that service, and they wanted me to make mention of it because I otherwise don't really do it. It's usually just a one-liner here on this slide. So, yeah, I do offer that service. If you're interested, reach out. Please inquire. Otherwise, joining the TAS House costs as little as $5 a month. You enter at VIP access level, where you get early access to Plotting and Scheming, a dedicated text and voice chat on Discord where I'm usually lurking, so please pop on in and say hi. I will also occasionally make the odd patron exclusive video. Most recently, helping, running matches for patrons, for clients. We're usually doing that in the patron chat, so that's kind of an exclusive benefit as well. But yeah, thank you so much to all of my patrons signed up here at VIP Access. Really appreciate your support. Moving on up to the $10 a month tier is VIP Access Plus, where you get a bundled Patreon access to me and to your choice of either OmegaBot or Hot Utils Patreon. OmegaBot is that tool that I highlight at the start of all of my Grand Arena streams. It's the one with the graphs that give you an easily understood sense of your opponent's offensive and defensive tendencies. Anybody can use that tool for free to scout their opponent's last week of history, but only patrons can build out a custom report. You get a downloadable HTML version with embedded links that, when you click them, takes you right into swugga.gg or Insight, with data pre-sorted with, just helping you further minimize and focus your scouting time. Fantastic tool. Otherwise, you might spring for Hot Utils Patreon, aka Chili subscription, which is your #1 tool for mass mod management and loadout creation. Nothing else lets you switch so easily between your Grand Arena, TB, TW, and Raid mods. You can use it like TJ and Fatal do to comprehensively remod your roster using the powerful automation feature. You can slice through hundreds of mods in seconds, help out your guild in TW, and so much more. No wrong way to go at VIP Access Plus. Thank you for everyone subscribed here for your support. And of course, VIP Access Premium is $15 a month for the Double Bot bundle. So Patreon access for me, OmegaBot, and Hot Utils, all in one price. Going out and getting these two bots any other way costs the same as this triple bundle. So that's why so many of my patrons say it's one of the best values in the game. Thank you so much to all of my patrons subscribed here at VIP Access Premium. I know you guys enjoy the double bots. At the top of the list, for my most generous supporters here, it's Nomads, Reaper, and Pills. These guys recently showed up, just a few weeks ago, went crazy during a stream, pushed up over 900 subscriptions, gifted, incredible new record set for the stream overall. Nomads, of course, has been involved in many of the Hype Train records of the stream. Pills has been extraordinarily generous as well, especially recently, so thank you guys so much. Really appreciate you still tuning in, despite you guys, neither of you, playing the game for some years now. Special thanks first to the Lost Womp Rat, one of my patrons who goes above and beyond the call of duty, helping myself and so many other Swugga content creators with all of our technical issues behind the scene. I also do make, Datacron set guide, infographics, and videos. And always appreciate your time, Womp Rat. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Of course, last but never least, here to my co-hosts on Plotting and Scheming, Dagger, TJ, Sasha, Aisha, and Fatal. Gentlemen, as always, it is my pleasure to record our show together every week. Despite the pressures of work, family, new jobs, as the case may be. Congrats again, Fatal. You guys still make the time to show up for this show, and, I appreciate it. I learn something from every episode. Hopefully you guys all feel the same from time to time. But regardless, it's not about us. It is about everybody tuning in, and they're letting us know. It's rare that a day goes by that I don't get some type of DM, some comment on YouTube, something thanking us for the conversations on this show, because people are picking up that actionable intelligence that we wanted to be able to share. They're applying it in their rounds. It is helping them win the day. So thank you guys so much for being a part of the show. Nearly pushing up on 3 years in its current form with all 5 of us. And I wouldn't change a thing. All right, let's head back on over to the main scene. Yeah, guys, it's been an interesting first week. A lot to learn, a lot of great streams to have watched, especially for somebody like me that only had one real round at the end of the week. Really grateful for a lot of good content to watch here. So I will do my best to bring you other matches besides the one that I'm likely to get this week. Stay tuned on Discord. And until next time, it's been real. It's been awesome. It's been real awesome. Take care.